Welcome everybody to Palom's Challenge Dungeon. This Wolf Fallen. We'll just load up his dungeon here. And right at the bottom. So when you start back up again, you should be just outside of Troya. You head up to the Chocobo Forest, you can finish off the rest of the story. So yeah, there's a few things about this. This challenge dungeon is a little bit different than the others. So this is actually being post-commentated, as well as it is really extremely long, just so you know. So we'll talk to Challenge Way here, and he thanks us as always. And he takes us to the entrance floor. So, here we have our first floor, the flan floor. Each dungeon is going to be... Each floor, there are 3 floors you have to go through that are all randomly generated. And there's about, I think, 9 different floors in total. So the flan floor is nothing but flan battles. And I would suggest just using Fyra to take them all out. So you can, there's little hidden walls on the flan floor everywhere with broken cracks in the wall. Check the clock, Elixir. So yeah, it's just post-commentated because you get random dungeons every time you enter. So this is not in order. I just replayed random floors, recorded everything, and just pieced it together in my opinion of what's the easiest floors to the hardest floors. We got a I think we got 3,000 gil there. Remedy. Blinding arrows. So flame floors, nothing difficult, a little bit mazy. Magic floor is pretty easy. Simply use bio to take care of all the enemies. It's not it's nothing special. Mithril staff. Just use, like, that's mostly your strategy in his challenge dungeon is to use bio. Should eliminate all enemies in one hit. Soma drops. Maze floor. This one's not too bad. Basically, it's just one large maze. You have to find your way around, but it's quite easy if you know the trick to mazes. If you just stick to one side of a wall, you'll eventually get there. So if we stick to the left, keep going left, left, stick to the left wall. There's no treasure on this floor, actually. There's a healing pot there, which makes this a pretty good grinding floor, because they do have some decent enemies. They do hit hard though, so watch out. They do have some decent enemies, and it's pretty easy. So once you get to the magic pot, take the right exit, or stick to the right side, and you should eventually find yourself at the exit. It's not too complicated of a floor, but not a bad one. Convoy's got pretty... It's just walking around ship areas. It's got pretty easy enemies, not too difficult. One of the easier floors in terms of enemy encounters. It does have quite a bit of cargo, as you would expect, or treasures. Yeah, I keep getting attacked a lot. It's really highly annoying. So yeah, like I said before, Gold Needle, you wouldn't always get these. Each floor is always randomly generated. Like, if you get the first floor from the entrance, it might be the convoy or whatever every time you go in. You just have to go through 3 of these. I just decided to go through all, I think, 8 of them. Ether. Bronze Hourglass. I'm trying to rush through it because, as you can see, this is a really long video. There's a lot to this dungeon, unlike the other ones that are fairly straightforward. And there's the exit. Come on to Bridge. Bridge isn't too bad. Bridge is actually pretty short. But it does contain a few tougher enemies like Lamias, which can get real annoying. Decoy. Also, running around on the bridge area can get you kind of like stuck, missing paths and stuff like that, which can be kind of annoying. Also, I'm checking my map a lot, or my map a lot to remember where the hell I'm going. and I kind of get lost and forget something here. Now, like with many of the other, with some of the other challenge dungeons, all the chests will actually refill every time you come in, so you can come in like as much as you want. Yeah, I forgot a high potion in the box to the right. So yeah, you can keep coming back, keep getting chests. There's nothing really spectacular in any of them, so I wouldn't worry too much. Actually, no, I think... No, the chests do not respawn. Sorry, they do not respawn. Mountain floor. Sorry, the chests do not respawn in this. I was lying. No, the mountain floor is fairly interesting because it has a rare enemy called the Gillbird, which is kind of like a golden... It looks kind of like a fiery golden bird. And there's two types. There's ones that are usually braver and they'll stick around for a round or two. And they drop about 1,000 gold, which is pretty good. Still pretty good for this chapter. But there's another one, 3,000 gil in that chest. There's another one that I believe will drop 10,000 gold. So that's the one you want, but usually he will run away before you even have a chance to hit him. Holy crap, yeah. Leonora gets beat up a lot. Now if you head down here, here's a good piece of armor for Leonora, the Mystic Veil. Put it on her, protects against curse. This is okay. It's just more for the stat increase. What floor do we have now? Oh, we got flashback floor. This is probably the best floor you can get out of the 3 random floors. It has an HP restore tile and the chance to go back to exit the challenge dungeon. You can just use teleport anytime, so it doesn't really matter. But I mean, that's an excellent one to get. It's 1 floor and nothing on it. Here's the Perplexon floor. As it names it implies, it's kind of like the maze floor, but kind of really screws with the eyes a bit. Some of these, so there's a whole bunch of big rocks that you have to walk around. However, the big rocks have little rocks in some of the paths, making it hard to find your way, and you have to walk all the way around, get past to get through it, and can really screw up the mine. Coral Whisker. Enemy encounter that probably kicked my butt. Now this floor, these 2 floors, you're going to start running into some of the tougher enemies, like the Lamias, the blue corals, which will randomly either paralyze a character or KO them with their blaster attack if you're not careful. So if you don't hit them in 1 hit, kill them in 1 hit. As well as the Mad Ogres, which in this chapter are really dangerous because they are immune to magic. So the best way to deal with them, when you get like there's an encounter where you'll get like 2 Mad Ogres and a Lamia, and the Lamias will counterattack with Confuse. The best thing to do is cast Break. The Mad Ogres have a high chance of being petrified. Most enemies do, but most enemies can also be taken out with 1 bio spell anyways. Here we have the town floor. As you suspect, it's a little town that's kind of a mazy-ish thing. But yeah, the Mad Ogres will usually death or explosion in the grass there. Death or break will take out the Mad Ogres because magic will not cause any damage to them, and you would have to rely on your physical attacks, which can be very dangerous, especially if you're at a weaker level. So if we go into the grass here, which I decide not to. Oh, there we go. I'm going back in now. And I get killed. Yeah, you're up. There we go. If you go in the corner here, you get a blue fang. But most importantly, another HP potion, HP NP restore, making this probably the best place to grind because it has really good strong enemies that give good gold. A silent bell inside the house, which I believe casts silence on an enemy. A ruby ring and something else. I think it was a remedy. I wasn't paying attention. But Yeah, you can get some good gil on this floor, and since gil is going to come in handy, here you get a little bit of crossroad. 6,800 gil. So yeah, Bio and Break are your best bets, except for the Flan floor, where you just use... I would just use Fyra, because it's a little bit cheaper, and it'll take them out in one hit. Oh, I got Hermes Sandals there before. Strength floor? Now this one's a bit misleading. Though it says Strength, the enemies here aren't really that strong. Still a single Bio spell against all of them will take them out. But what is interesting about this floor is it seems to... I don't know if this floor... I can't remember offhand, but it seems very familiar. Oh, there's a Killer Bow, which is a good bow for Leonora. It reminds me of a floor in Final Fantasy V, I think. I'm not sure if that's true, but it does kind of remind me of one. Just the way it is, the way it's set up, and the way the room is, and eventually we'll go into a secret hole in the wall here. Nothing in that pot. There we go, little secret wall. It kind of reminds me of the Final Fantasy V area. I can't remember for sure. But the enemies are tough, but still, just good bio spells should work. Keep in mind, always bring Phoenix Downs and high potions, because if Leonora bites the dust, you're screwed. Now this is the final random floor. It is one of the most annoying floors in the world. It has the Lamias, the Mad Ogres, the Storm Animas, Skulders. All of them easily, even with attack down, all of them easily do about 300 hit points worth of damage per hit. And they attack, not only that, but they attack fast and they attack hard, like I said. And that can be really annoying. Yet again, the Mad Ogres, use Break on them. That's your most efficient way of dealing with them. You can cast Break on all enemies at the same time. It lessens the effect, or the chance of stoning the enemy, getting your enemy stoned. But more often, it will take out 2/3 or 3/4 of your opponents, really, if you're lucky enough and you're high enough level. It will pretty much get, if it doesn't get rid of every enemy on the battlefield, it will definitely get rid of most of them. So it is a good one to use. It just takes a bit of time to charge up to use. So here we are, I believe, on the final floor. There we go, last floor. If I can go around, there's your save point there, if you need to save, which I suggest you do. So right here we have probably one of the most, he's not difficult, he's just strategic. What he'll do is any magic cast upon him, like any non-elemental magic, such as Slow, will cause him to do Venom Breath, which will take around, 400 or 500 HP to both characters and poison them, as well as he'll do that Leech, which will heal himself for about 4,000 HP. So don't use any magic on him right away. Just use Shell a couple of times, as well as use Buff once or twice. Now one slight problem is when you use Buff, it still counts as a non-elemental magic spell, and he'll use Venom Breath. But this should help boosting Palom's Black Magic. Now you kind of want to come in here when Black Magic is down, though it affects Palom. It keeps the Blade Dragon's magic power tolerable. Otherwise he'd be taking like 600 hit points away from each character. So once you have everything set up, keep everybody about 1,000 hit points above. But make sure you do all your buffs and debuffs before you start attacking them. There we go, there's the leech again. So he's just going to keep doing that every time you use a magic spell on him. So now we get into the puzzle part of the battle, I guess, or the, not the puzzle part, but the more thought-provoking part. What you do is you just kind of wait for him to cast a few spells, and what you do is you wait. So he casts Blizzard, so that's Blizzard, and he casts Fire. So now, since you know he casts Fire and Blizzard, that means he didn't cast, you'll notice he doesn't cast Thunder, which means he is weak to Thunder. That's right, we have another barrier shifting enemy. Every time he is attacked with his weakness, he will shift barriers. However, one thing is, though, is if you attack him with the wrong element, like you saw, he'll do Venom Breath. If you attack him with the wrong element, it will heal him, as well as he'll probably do Venom Breath. I don't know why I did buff there. He'll do Venom Breath and Leech, healing himself up anyways. So it's not a good idea to just guess. Like previous barrier shift battles, you could just you would you'd try one of the level 1 spells to see what he was weak against, and then cast the higher spells. This one, no. This one you have to watch him and watch what he does. So just let Palom sit back for a bit. Observe the 2 spells that he casts, and then hit him with the spell that he didn't cast. So if he does Fire and Blizzard, cast Thunder. If he does Fire and Thunder, do Blizzard. If he does Blizzard and Thunder, do Fire. So pay close attention to the magic he casts. Now eventually it gets there is a point here in this battle where all he keeps doing is casting Blizzard over and over and over again for a while. And that kind of got a little annoying and dragged out this battle a lot longer than it really needed to. So hopefully that will help you. Just don't go freaking bat nuts casting stuff. Don't use Particle Bomb, because Particle Bomb will take out 4,000 hit points, but he'll just use Leech and he'll just gain back 4,000 hit points, so it's not worth it. Just be patient. That's all I have to say about this boss battle. Now, like I said, for the challenge dungeon, what you're going to do is you're going to come in, you're going to talk to Naming Way, or Challenge Way rather, and you'll go into the entrance. The entrance is always, there's 2 floors that are always the same, and that's the entrance floor, the one that plays the crystal theme, and the final floor, this one that the boss is on. Those will always be the same. In between those 2 will be 3 random floors of any of the 9, I think it's 8 or 9 floors that I previously showed you. So you won't have to go through all the floors I showed you. And like I said, they're not in that order either. It can be any order. Although I noticed the flashback floor, the one with the MP pad and the escape route, doesn't seem to show up as a first floor. So I don't know if that was, they coded that in to not happen, but in all the times I was recording this, I never had it show up on the first floor. But that's probably the best floor you can get, because it's just simply heal and then leave. Especially if you get that before the final floor, you're laughing. It's great. Some of the other ones that you want to get, like I said, I put them all in order, and probably the best floors you'd want to get. And probably the best, besides the flashback floor, is probably the flan floor, because the flans don't really cause a lot of damage. As well as the magic floor, not a lot of damage on that one. But the strong arm floor, that last floor I showed you, can be a pain in the butt. Especially if you get the wrong enemy combination and do not take care of them quickly. You could have some serious issues there and might end up getting killed. The Perplex one is just, it's more annoying than difficult. There are difficult enemies and you have to watch out, but it's more annoying in my opinion. The strong, or the strength floor, is not... is a little misleading. It shouldn't be too bad, and you shouldn't have any worries dealing with it. Enemies are somewhat strong, but okay. They're manageable. Bridge floor, not too bad. It's not as confusing as some of the other ones, really, to be honest. It's a pretty easy floor to navigate. Just has stronger enemies than some of the other ones. Convoy. Convoy is a pretty good one. It's really easy enemies. It's probably almost as easy as the... it's just for the complexity. Like, I rate it a little more difficult than some of the other floors, simply because of the complexity of its maze-likeness. But the enemies are probably about just as easy as the flan floor. Who else is there? The maze floor, that's right, that one's not difficult. Remember, just stick to the left, and once you get to the HP MP pot, stick to the right. Or start going, stick to the right, and you should find yourself making your way out. There are no chests on that floor, so don't bother looking. So we're still fighting. Yeah, he takes 12,000 hit points, I believe. So about 8 good attacks. I think this is the point where he just keeps spamming Blizzard, and it made the battle go on probably like 4 minutes longer than it needed to. I mean, if you go into this battle, not knowing what you're doing and just start spamming attacks and everything and doing all the traditional stuff, you'll find yourself getting wiped out pretty quickly. Like, you would not be able to keep up with that venom breath. Now, theoretically, if you not theoretically, but you could, if you took enough time buffing and, you know, taking care not to have him counterattack too often, you can probably do it when black magic is up. Just get him slowed down to make it a little easier, and then get as many shells off, and then you can probably finish him in like 5-6 hits. This one, however, if you go black magic down, it takes about 8 hits. Most of it's just waiting for him to check the 3 magics he does. The best way I found is to use my fingers to keep track of them. I'd use my index finger as fire, my middle finger as blizzard, and my pinky as thunder. And then when he casts, first spell he casts after changing his barrier, I put the finger up associated with the element, and I'd keep it up until I found a different cast that wasn't equal to that, and then I would just cast the opposite of those two, or the third one that wasn't used. And that's the best way I found to keep track. I mean, you can keep mental track, it's not that hard, it's just I wasn't paying attention at some points. So I was getting kind of annoyed watching this guy just spam Blizzard for a while, and I was trying to do this as quickly as possible. I do apologize for the length. Just so you know, at this point, I am at max, I am at level 40. Leonora, pretty high at her level 40, she gets like Drain and Osmos, and that's where her black magic ends. She doesn't get a lot of black magic in her chapter, and she's really slow at the black magic. It takes a while to grow, so I really wouldn't bother using, like, black magic just seems to be there's something there, it's little something extra, but it's not really ever useful in the chapter. So I think this should be the final round, I think. Not only have I gotten through all this, I've also gained a lot of money as well. I gained the full 100,000 gil you can get. The only problem is, like I said, that's the max you can hold, and you're going to need 150,000 gil. So I had to to be able to save up, I had to buy a bunch of like ruby rings worth $1,000 and then sell them for 500, which is a really inefficient and poor investment. Oh, I really got them. But that's how I had to do it, to show you guys, so I didn't have to break it up too much. But whatever. Get a high potion. I didn't show you, but one of the items when I went through previously to defeat him. Oh, by the way, that final chest is random, and you'll get certain items. I got a, I forget what it was called, single star ring or something like that. And it was a bracelet that you can put on a mage and it will cut their magic by a quarter. Magical cost will only be like 3/4. So here I'm going to show you, we're going back to the Queen's Pub. We've seen this one already. With the old ladies. They do their little dance. Yeah, there's a lot of gil cost to this. No, that, I think it's Star Ring, I forget what it's called, but it's a pretty good ring for mages, and it's... I think that final chest only has a few things like Adamantite, Protect Rod. Not a lot of useful items, like some of the other challenge dungeons have. And one thing I also noticed is that after that, Palom's HP drops to 1 HP. Now before, you got the Lusty Lally Hose. You might want to keep those. I don't know what they're used for, I never tried. But you should keep it. Don't give it to Leonora because she'll throw it away. So what you do is you go to that old lady at the station, at the backstage. Then you talk to this guy in the bottom corner, and he'll ask you if you're satisfied. If you tell him yes, nothing will happen. He'll kind of just look at you odd. If you tell him no, he'll ask for a member's card, which will take you to the next floor, the Queen Bounty's Pub. And these guys don't really do anything. Let's talk to the guy to the left there, and the show will start once again. This show is a little bit better. At least they're not old ladies. And then they'll just kind of drag Leonora into the dance. So that's the second one. But most importantly to this this floor is if you talk to some of the... go backstage again. Yes, that was brilliant. Yeah, blah blah blah. Shut up, old man. Converted old man. If you head backstage to the left backstage, talk to this lady. You buy a VIP card. There's your max amount of gil. Now I kind of cut out that little phasing you saw. Was me just selling. It was like 2 minutes of me selling every item I owned. Literally every item I owned. And there's the Queen's Whip, which is a pretty good whip, and Queen's Equipment, which all the Queen's Equipment protects from different status ailments, so it's a worthwhile pickup. And as well as the Queen's Whip is very important because it's the only whip Leonora can equip, and because it's the only whip she can equip, yeah, that sounds really weird. It is vital to a certain ban that involves using all the women who can use whips. It's like a dominatrix band or something like that, where they tie the enemy up and whip them. I don't remember. So if we head down to the final floor, we see a naming way here, and we're going to begin the final show. Ooh, my throat is getting sore. Sorry this isn't really that entertaining, but we'll watch this final show as a way of entertainment. Very nice touch. Very good dance. That was... It's not worth... It doesn't... Well, it does give you something, but... Nothing amazing. But it was a neat little dance. So yeah, there we go. Of course, Palom can't keep his mouth shut and suggests Leonora become a dancer. Guess she's got a legs for it or something. So if we talk to everybody in the rooms, they don't really say anything. Well, they say stuff, just they don't give you anything. So that's Palom's challenge dungeon, and like I said, pick up all the Queen's equipment. It's good equipment for Leonora. I don't remember if other people can equip it, so I don't remember if you're supposed to buy one or more. Can't remember offhand. There's also secret passageways where you can talk to the people here. But just remember, you're only gonna have to go through 3 of the 8 floors, or 3 of the 9 floors, whatever it is, and only the entrance and the final floor are always in the same location. So that's all you have to remember. Like I said, if you're lucky, you'll get the flashback floor, which is very easy to deal with, or you'll be very unlucky and get the strong arm one that could beat the crap out of you easily. So we're going to end this chapter off by getting ourselves a black tail. And so that's it. It's the end of Palom's challenge dungeon. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye now.